So here we are on ZBrush. Go to Import. And choose cloak_MD2. If you remember in our previous lesson, select it and open it. So here we go. Let's click this double. This will reveal the opposite side of our geometry. Now we need to add thickness to our geometry. Click on this wireframe to display our edges. Under Geometry, scroll down and you will find panel loops. Let's put loop count to 2. Polish to 0. And bevel to 0 and leave all to default. Now press panel loops. As you can see, we have now the thickness. Let's turn on dynamic. It's quite good, isn't it? Let's turn on polyframe again by pressing Shift F on your keyboard. As you can see, we have a 3 poly group here. Let's turn off dynamic for now. What I need to do here is I need to merge these 2 poly groups, the pink one and the green. To do so, hold down Shift plus Control and click once on this orange color. Now the other part is hidden. To invert it, hold down Shift plus Control and drag quickly on your canvas. Now let merge these 2 poly groups. Just press Ctrl W on your keyboard. It looks like they are the same poly group, but they aren't. Hold down Shift plus Control again and click the top part to hide it. Now press Ctrl W to change the color of our poly group. Now let's unhide all. Hold down Shift plus Control and click once on your canvas to unhide the hidden objects. Now we are done. We just need to export. Let's scroll down. On the export option, make sure the group turns on. I want these 2 poly groups to be separated when we import. In this case in Maya. You can import also in Blender if you want. Click Export and save it. Okay, here we are on Maya. Let's import our model from ZBrush. We need to do something here. First, let's rename our object. And assign a new material. Choose Lambert. Rename it. Same to the other one. Rename it as well. And assign a new material as well. We are doing this because I need to be organized. You don't have to do this, but it's just my preference. Before we export, we need to smoothen all the faces of our object. As you can see, it is a little bit harsh. Go to Mesh Display, and choose to soften edges. In Blender I think it's a shade smooth. Okay, now let's export it. By selecting all the object and go to Files Export Selection. Choose FBX as a format. Save the files. Okay, here we are in Substance Painter. What we're going to do now is to import our model here. Go to File, New. And then select the model we saved from Maya. Make our document resolution to 4096, leave all to default. We will check this use UV tile workflow if we have multiple UV tiles. Since we don't have it, leave it unchecked, and press OK. You can rotate your light environment by pressing the Shift key and the right mouse button and drag left and right. If you remember, here is what we did on Maya. Ops. A misspell there. And let's save our project. Click on Display Settings. And change to Soft Contrast Front. And on Camera Settings, change the files of view to 25 to less perspective. Before we do our texturing, go to Texture Settings, and let's bake our material. Let's put the output size to 4096. Check Use Low Poly Mesh as High Poly Mesh. Scroll down, select Subsampling to 4x4, and press Bake selected texture. Okay, let's do the texture. Delete this empty layer here, and press the Add a Fill Layer button. On the Properties, click Height, Rough and Normal. Adjust a bit the roughness. And rename it. Go to your shelf. Projects, here are all the textures we baked. I will import a normal texture. Click on Defined and choose Texture. And choose your current project. Then press Import. Now, this texture we import, we will drag it to the height channel. Now we see our height texture popping out. You can change scale according to your liking. For me, I put 30. We can do this also on the top cloth. Delete this empty layer here, and press the Add a Fill Layer button. On the Properties, click Height, Rough and Normal. Now, this texture we import, we will drag it to the height channel. Let's change the scale settings as well. Create another fill layer and then Alt click on Color. We just want color only on this layer. You can change the color you want. In my case, I prefer this color. I think it's too shiny. So we add this rough layer and adjust a bit. And name base color. You can name it whatever you want. Add another fill layer. We need color, roughness, and height this time. And change the color you want. Change roughness a bit and the height. Rename this fill layer to Dirt. Now right click on it and add a black mask. And add paint. Go to your brush and choose this Dirt 3. And go paint your dirt on it. I will fast forward on this so that you don't bore with what I'm doing here. You can change a different brush for experimenting to suit your needs. You can change a different color as well. And you can add more fill layers to add more variation of the dirt. You can do your exploration, don't be afraid. And press the Add a Fill Layer button. On the properties, click Height, Rough and Normal. Adjust a bit the roughness. Rename it. Add a black mask. Add a paint. On your brush, select Basic Hard Brush. You can test your brush size. Press F3 on your keyboard to switch to 2D only. We can change our alignment to UV. You can turn off this pen pressure. Hold down Shift to draw a straight line. Press F4 to go to 3D view only. Can switch back and forth by pressing this 2 button, F3 and F4. Press F3 on your keyboard to switch to 2D only. Let's fix some of this unwanted texture here. You can press X by switching to black and white mask. Black is subtract, and white for adding it. Let's fix his area. We can add color also on the sleeve. And the same as well on the other side. Everything is in place now. What we are going to do next is to add some extra pattern design on the hood and sleeve. Let's add another fill layer again. This time we need color, height, and roughness. We need to adjust roughness a little bit. We can add normal as well, no problem. Change the color to your liking. In my case I choose dark yellow a bit, and rename it to pattern. Add a black mask. Add a paint. This time, we need to change our alpha. You can use your own alpha if you want, but in this case, I use the default alpha that Substance Painter has. I need to use this alpha. Let's figure out what is the correct size to fit our needs. Press F3 to go to 2D mode. Change the brush size and the spacing as well. Yeah, I think this size is okay for me. But we need to change the angle of our alpha. Let's change to 90. Let's try that. Okay, let's try round 280. Now that is work. You can play around the correct angle that is fit to your needs. Let's change the value to around 2 point something. You can check the value that works for you. Let's do it on the sleeve as well. You know the drill, I will fast forward on this. Now we are done on the top cloth. Let's work on the inner cloth. This one is so easy. We will just change the color, nothing else. You can add something else if want. But for this one is okay for me. Now we are done. Let's export our texture. Go to File, Export Texture. Click on this area to specify where you want to save your texture. Leave all to default, and press Export. And in the next lesson, we will do the shading and lighting in Blender. See you and God bless us all.